Now, waste management and waste reduction are critical components for achieving sustainability in today's world. At WION, we are hosting Season 3 of Mission Sustainability 2025. We have invited esteemed panelist Dr. Sunil Pandey, Director of Circular Economy and Waste Management at TERI, Shannon B. Olson, Director of the Eco Network, and Ripu Daman Singh Bevely, environmentalist and social activist, to discuss the challenges and solutions in waste reduction and management. Take a look.
What is the one truth about the global littering crisis that the world still does not understand? Ladies first.
Thank you. I'd like to say there actually is no such thing as waste. Okay, so I'm a scientist, I'm actually an ecologist by training, and everything on this planet is from this planet, including us, okay? And our planet doesn't have waste. There is no such thing as waste. Everything that is used by every living organism on this planet is the source for another organism on this planet. The only thing that we have done as humans is we've converted things from the natural world into a way that they're not readily usable by a microorganism. So I think the first thing that people need to understand is there actually is no such thing as waste. It's a construct that our humanity has created for our own means, and that's why we're living beyond our planet's boundaries. So I think I'll stop there.
Invented plastic, who manufactures plastic, who consumes plastic, who uses and throws plastic. Every finger needs to point at themselves. So who's the villain? We are the villain. So who has to solve the problem? We have to solve the problem.
Talking about solving the problem, are we actually indeed solving the problem, or are we simply managing the consequences? Dr. Olson.
So I think that one of the things I'd like to infuse into this conversation is a sense of hope. We are in a crisis. I'm not going to make light of that. But there actually are tons of people and organizations and individuals on this stage I'm lucky to be with right now who are actually working to address this problem. I think one of the issues that we face, and it's one of the reasons I founded the network, is because we aren't connected to those people. We don't know who they are. We don't have access to those solutions. Communities are aware. And I think they're aware of the waste problem because you see it, right? The issues often lie in accessibility and opportunities to, let's say, recycle or reutilize that waste, as he mentioned, which maybe are not accessible to those communities and individuals. So I think that connectivity is really important here in this conversation, and making people aware of what's already out there. I think that we're looking for solutions that are already in existence. They just may not be made in an accessible way and a profitable way, so that even businesses are not only obligated, and they don't see this as some burden on their profit margin, but they see this as a glorious opportunity for profitability in a more sustainable way through a circular system.
Well, we can create all the policies and the big frameworks, but till the time we actually get it implemented on the ground, it's not going to work. And I'll give you a specific example of, it's a little different from the problem that we're talking about, but I was in Udaipur. It's a beautiful town in Rajasthan. I spent a few days in two different villages. One village had a water cooperative by all the farmers where they broke all the caste divides and shared water equitably over the last decade or so. And they all became groundwater experts, working with the local communities, getting some interventions from colleges. So literally built a local governance model versus a village a few kilometers away in the same district, where the government decides that our policy is to get water taps to every household. So they had water taps at every house, but all those water taps ran dry. Whereas the village right next door has unpredictable water source for the last 10 years. The women don't have to go anywhere to fetch water, and the quality of life of them, the farmers, their wives, and the children has been predictably uplifted, right? So that's what we're talking about. When we talk about policies and frameworks, how much has that been implemented on the ground, and how much the real stakeholders, the people who will be most impacted by your policies, are they being included in your frameworks or not? I think that's the most important question that we need to ask as policymakers.
Behavior change is often treated as secondary in waste management. Should it actually be the first priority?
I mean, when we think about behavioral change, we often talk about the individual, but I liked your answer, Ritu, because it is actually not just the individual, it's also the culture as well. So we have to think about this on a more systemic level. Everything gets treated individually and locally, but you have to think systemically. There's a behavioral change model called COM-B, okay, and it's one I particularly like. So COM-B stands for capability, opportunity, and motivation. And the idea is that unless a human or a community or even a country has all the capability of that behavioral change, the opportunities to change, and of course, finally, the motivation to change, that will not happen. And a lot of the efforts that we make are often on the level of capability. We do a lot of awareness drives, and that's important. There is a need for awareness, not necessarily that waste is a problem, but that there's solutions out there, and that they need to get to that last mile, that the communities need to be aware that these solutions exist and demand of them. But the opportunity is often missed. We often miss the fact that the issue is not necessarily that people don't care about the waste problem. They do care about it. It's often that we don't make it an easier opportunity for them.
Seen as, if you refer to psychologists and look at how they suggest that behavior should be changed, they say that keep doing anything for, say, 120 days, and it gets into your behavior. I don't know if that works in India or not, or in economies like us. But I'll give you a parallel example of, we were very closely studying the system in Indore. It's one of the cities which has been known for winning the cleanest city campaign for 7-8 years now. So much so that it has become their habit. They said that most of the countries, most of the systems have something which we call IEC, which is awareness campaigns which are designed, and many times you see celebrities and a lot of other people coming and telling us what to do and what not to do. They realize that if this is not resulting into behavior change, then there's something else is required to be done. So they kind of looked at the entire thing of awareness generation into how they can bring in the behavior change. And instead of IEC, they started calling it behavior change campaign. So they said that once we call it behavior change campaign, we'll be more targeted towards doing that. And then looking at tools and techniques, sometimes in common terms, carrot and stick, both. And we went to use carrots, went to use sticks, and it has resulted into behavior change.